All right, South by Southwest continues, and I am here with Seahorse. Hello.
Thanks for having us.
You were just saying you read a review.
Just read a wonderful review, and it's always nice to be surprised when your work connects to people and they like understand it, which was really nice. We just read it out in the hall.
So well deserved.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. How have did you premiere
Yesterday.
yesterday? Okay.
Yeah.
What was it like watching with an audience?
Okay, I've seen. I'm gonna throw it to the rest of our lovely cast because, to be honest, I have seen it too many times to like know what it feels like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But they saw it for the first time.
Yeah.
So Ruth and Brett, if you want to weigh in, feel free.
It was awesome. I mean, it was such a. We have not seen it. We shot it a while ago, and you kind of just know your own track really well. So yeah, just watching the slow burn of this film and what Aisha had, what the inner workings of Aisha's beautiful mind was, so special. And I had big time tears and laughs.
Yeah, to see, I mean, it's such a weird thing having the experience of doing and then watching, but to see it on the big screen with professional projectors and sound, and then being able to appreciate everybody's work that you're so not focused on in the doing, and have everyone there. Like, there's a big group of us that came down to the festival to celebrate it like this. So it's just a wonderful moment.
It's very special. Yeah. And Joseph has yet to see it, because have you go?
Yeah, I haven't seen it, and it's not because of arrogance or anything like that. It's simply because I was on an aeroplane coming, and there was an event, and we had to turn back. But I'm here now.
Okay. I hope everything's okay.
Yeah. He's fine.
Yes, it's fine.
we were just more annoyed with air traffic and whatever. It's cool. It's
But
cool.
Aisha kept it very secret from all of us.
Yes, because I thought it was important to that they can see their work exalted in a cinema the way that it should be, with the bells and whistles.
Yeah. I was just talking, I've been talking to people about this the last few interviews. There's been a lot of people you know them as certain beloved characters, and I would say you definitely have one of those, especially. So when they play, there's somebody on the show called Fresh Prince. But when they play a character that's complete opposite of what you're expecting, it's very interesting to me. So I'm just curious what your casting process was, especially with a legend like this one over here.
Well, okay, I would say for independent filmmakers, this is my first feature, and I'm not trying to posture myself.
Congratulations, seriously.
Thank you. I'm not trying to posture and be well, I had my people call his people. That's not the way it went, and I think for a lot of people, it feels far away, but it was a kindly worded email. I do believe Joseph used the term tome, which is like Homer's Odyssey.
But I qualified that and said it was 2 pages.
A page and a half. And so just a kindly worded email as to why I thought that Joseph was the right person for the role, and why I was and also just being very transparent. I was we're a small indie production in Toronto, but you're going to have a great time with a bunch of Canadians who love you. And then for Ruth, longtime pal, I made one of my first shorts, Ruth played in it after she cast me in her play. And then with Brett, I thought we did Meisner together 10 years ago, or 15. I'm not going to say the years. But again, just community, knowing each other, just being in the space. And they said yes to me. Thank you.
Happily so.
You're very hard to say no to.
Good.
What stuck out to you about the email?
About the email? Firstly, it was...
What was the subject line?
Wonderfully flattering. Come on, usually you have to go into a room and put something on tape and send it, and you don't know who you're sending it to or how they'll react to it. But this was an open and very honest letter, and I was touched and very flattered, and so we zoomed, and we discovered that we actually quite liked each other.
I am obsessed with you, Joseph.
I just wanted her to say that. and it worked, and we worked from there. I mean, I had some concerns about accents and things like that, but we ironed that out, and I have to say it really was an absolute pleasure. Those 12 days or 10 or 12 days that I spent in Toronto working on this film were purely magical. They really were, and Aisha is a is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, she really is.
Thank you. It's always been my dream to be named after a hurricane. Sorry, that's so corny. Back to you.
You did write about Seahorse.
Back to you.
Back to the studio.
You wrote, directed, starred. Where did this story come from? Tell me the backstory of that.
So the backstory is just I live in Toronto and I love Toronto, but there is like a problem with house. Like we're there. It's embroiled in a housing crisis, and it just came from like looking around and like looking at people who I think are all deserving of food and housing, just have a really difficult time having access to that. And then I also have like a kind of weird relationship with my dad, and so in this movie none of it happened, but it's all kind of true. And so to be honest, anytime I see an older unhoused man, because I haven't seen my father in a long time and I knew he was living with some housing precarity, whenever I'd see someone that like kind of fit the bill, my stomach would drop and I'd be like, is that you? And so it kind of comes from this place of like inquiry of like, where is this person who is my kin? And like, I do believe that we're like, life is precious, and that like we were talking in a previous interview, we were talking about like how precious children are, and like they're just perfect and whole, and then like life happens. And so yeah, it kind of just came from trying to hold space for a person who I had bastardized, let's say. And it's just like, well, we're just people trying to do our best, and life gets in the way, and if we're not supported, sometimes we fall through the cracks. And so that was kind of where the story came from.
Oh, beautiful. And what did you both connect with about the story, and what do you hope the conversation is that people have when they walk out of the theater?
I mean, I just connected with Aisha's mind is so beautifully represented in this piece, and I play her best friend, and I really felt that the way this movie kind of takes you on sort of a journey on the sea of like flashbacks and present and sort of fears and dreams, and I just relate to walking through the world in that way myself, and looking for these anchors to try to pull me out of my own head, and friendship, community, parents, like all of those things, and how they kind of, help and hinder at the same time. And I think Aisha has painted a really beautiful picture of a human experience I'm very familiar with. Yeah. What about you?
For me, I'm not a parent myself, but the difficulties of parenthood, and when I was a child, looking at my parents navigate our lives, it just seemed like they were coming from a place of knowing and understanding and having a concrete kind of idea of how life works. But as I age myself and I see my parents or my friends who are parents and everything, it's like people are just figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like anybody else, have no idea. And to see how that can then come to a situation of one being estranged from a parent, like to an extreme, being so separate from a parent, or having such trouble doing it that it would result in a relationship just being severed in such a way. It just makes me have such empathy for people that are just trying to raise kids, and then also kids that are trying to take care of their parents, and I guess care generally.
Absolutely. I hate to wrap it up, but I'm so happy for you. This is amazing. I hope people go see this. Is there any last words we want to say before I...
Okay, go see Seahorse, please and thank you. Like, it's not dark. It's actually like really like healing. So like, go feel your feelings, and then hit me up on the internet, because I will respond to you on
Compliments only.
Yeah, on Instagram. So go.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate you coming by. Congratulations,
Thank you.
and enjoy the rest of the fest.
Thank you.